go dump and look behind me, and a dirt pan wasn't there. I don't know how, but apparently I left it right there. The pin's still in the hitch. I guess it just hit a bump and popped out. Oh, great. Man alive, look at those burn down strips in that field over there, boy. They coming along real nice, getting a real good kill on it. Well folks, we're getting closer and closer and closer to planting season. In fact, if I had everything ready to go, we could actually load up a corn seed today and go put some corn in the ground or soybeans in the ground. Surprisingly, the ground's dry enough, didn't get all that much rain out of that big storm system the other night. Temperatures are mild. In fact, I think tomorrow they're calling for like a high of 85 degrees. Heck yeah, we could be planting corn, but unfortunately, we're not ready. We still got quite a bit of work to do in the fields before we go put some seed in the ground. First thing first, I'm gonna drop this, then we're gonna hook up to the dirt pan, and me and Andy gonna go move. Me and Andy gonna go move a little bit of dirt. All right, rest of the tires fine?
They are. All aired up.
Yeah, I got up here and this one's off the bead. Apparently it was low. I found out the secret to airing up these tires nice and quick and easy when the bead becomes unseated. Don't try to film it. We actually got it on the first try. If I'd been filming it, we'd been here an hour trying to get that thing seated. All right, you ready to go move some dirt, Andy?
Let's go see if we can.
All right, I'm gonna have you on that loader tractor with a bucket, pushing dirt off. We're gonna try and fix those culverts over there on Frank Smith. Try and get that done today, and I'll be hauling dirt and have you pushing off in there. But that loader. Man alive, look at that wheat right there, boy. She done got her legs under it and growing fast. I suspect that probably in the next week to week and a half, it's gonna be putting out a flag leaf and gonna be ready for a fungicide application. Probably right about time we're ready to plant some corn. Boy, everything always seems to come to a head here pretty quick. All right, back out here at this mess. Hey, it seems like it looks worse than it did whenever we cleaned that pipe out. But it's still relatively clear. Got some debris down there. Water's still flowing. But we got to fill this in on both sides to where we can cross it with our equipment. We have a pretty good bit of dirt we got to haul here. And then not only on this one right here, but also this one right here that we installed last fall. Got to fill this back in. And I doubt it, but I hope that the flooding rains for the spring have already passed us by. We don't get any more that blows all this stuff back out, but we'll see. We gotta fix it sometime. Yes, it seems to look a little worse now than it did whenever we over here last, doesn't it?
It does, it sure does. Looks like it's lost about 4 feet on this side.
We've done the best we can. This culvert's going to have to be replaced in the next couple of years anyway. It's rusted out at the bottom, so this is just going to be a temporary fix until the landlord can save up enough money to buy a new culvert, because that 8-foot culvert, I think it was $2,800 back in probably 05 or 06 when we put it in. I ain't no telling what it is now.
Add a 0 to the end of that.
It could be. Yeah, move the decimal point one place to the right. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna start hauling dirt in and You push it over in there.
You want me to be dumping, just start by kind of covering the culvert and just going?
Yeah, we'll start. We'll start right here. This one will be the easiest one, and I mean it'll flow up against those guardrails there to hold it where we get more of a vertical one. Now over here on this other side, it's going to slope. But yeah, we'll start off by getting this one right here. And when you're pushing with that loader tractor, this is first gear, and we're pushing a lot of dirt. You know, push with a bucket like you're scraping. Don't flip it all the way over. Now, when you're doing fine grading and not moving very much dirt, you can flip that bucket all the way over, and it'll and you can do it pretty nice. But when you're just pushing, like if I dump a bunch of dirt and you're doing a lot of pushing, just push with it straight on, and in first gear, take it easy on the loader, because it's really not meant for the type of work we're going to be doing with it. But
it's not a bulldozer, but it's
it's what we got right now. Yeah. All right, if you remember from last spring, we got about halfway through the dirt work, and my dirt pan broke on me again. And anyway, the linkage on the back on the ejector that pushes all the dirt out when I'm dumping was just mangled, and it didn't have the right geometry on it. It had been fixed several times before, and nobody has any idea what it looked like originally. But anyway, the geometry on it was off, which was causing it to bind up and just basically tear itself apart. So last summer I took this thing over to Bo at J&S Welding. He's done a lot of fab work for me in the past, and anyway, just completely disassembled everything and studied it and just started over from scratch on that linkage on the back, and wound up redesigning it, and lost a little bit of capacity on the pan, but kind of had to in order to get the geometry right, you know, considering none of us know how it was originally. So it's going to be a maiden voyage with it, see how well it works out. All right, turn on our full-time four-wheel drive and then our automatic diff lock. That way when we're going in a straight line, we got every single wheel pulling here. All right, raise her gauge, start letting her down, see how well she does. Up all the way because, well, basically I don't have the tractor with the weight and the traction to load this thing up all the way. This is, I believe it's a 12-yard pan, and we got the horsepower, but we got a kind of a medium frame size tractor and just don't have the weight, even though these are ballasted up pretty heavy. We just don't have enough weight to be able to put all the horsepower to the ground when we're got a pan back there, especially a dolly style pan, which doesn't put any kind of weight on the drawbar to give you increased traction. But we'll manage to get by with it. a dirt pan wasn't there. I don't know how, but apparently I left it right there. The pin's still in the hitch. I guess it just hit a bump and popped out. Oh, great. I'm sure glad that pin didn't pop out while I was going over that culvert. That could have been a real bad deal. We just about got these culverts whooped though. Well, we were having a real good day. Almost got that culvert finished before. Can you hear it? That happened. I have absolutely no idea what I ran over. I mean, all I've been in is dirt all day long, but I guess maybe something washed up there around the culvert and hit it, but man, it gashed this tire all the way through the tread. Brought the air compressor out there and aired it up, and I mean, it was coming out almost as fast as we were putting it in. I barely made it back here to the shop, and we were just like right across the road. I like to know what the heck you did. Hopefully, I got best one on the way out here. After hours call, gonna be expensive, but I'm hoping that they can put a boot in that and that tire's not ruined, because that tire is only a year old and it ain't cheap and it's definitely hard to find. Anyway, we're shut down today until we get this tire fixed. Hopefully get it fixed. Be back at it in the morning.
Due to technical difficulties, aka the tire on Matt's tractor has gone flat, we are now doing something else, aren't we, Drake? Yes, we are! We are hooking up big girl over here to the disc. And everybody's minds are like, but you're no-till, why are you hooking it up? Because sometimes you have to use it, so we are going to be using that. So I'm gonna come hook this baby up. Oh, look at you. You're a professional. I'm a professional. All right, now I gotta figure out which hoses go to which so we can attempt to get them hooked up. That's always the fun game. So I forgot. In no fit. I don't think. And y'all get your minds out the gutters. Yeah, we gotta go take that off. Full send. Good to go. Now we'll see if their hard work this past winter is going to pay off and this thing acts correctly.
All right, got the tractor jacked up, all ready for best one to get here. Kelly and Andy are hooking up the disc because I got one field I'd like to plow tomorrow before this rain comes in, so now it's just a waiting game. I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing parked under the shed. Kelly didn't get quite the interview with Jacob the other day when they brought this unit back, so I was gonna show y'all exactly what was wrong with it. And for something so minor, it cost me a bunch of money. Anyway, back here on the back of the unit, we got grease lines going in. This is what greases the heads, and what they explained it to me is it goes in through this cap and down to the drum, goes through the hollow part of the drum, then flows out to all the bars and then all the spindles. And apparently, we don't really know who did it, but you see this symbol right here, CPW, that stands for Cotton Picker Works. And best I can tell, they were the ones that overhauled all the front units probably before last season. And anyway, there's an O-ring inside this cap to seal it off and keep grease from coming out and making it go down through the units. Anyway, when Delta Spindle got this thing down there, the only way they could get the drum to rotate is they had to take all the spindles out of the rear drum. It was plumb locked up tight. And somebody, either Cotton Picker Works or the owner of the picker, instead of having that O-ring inside that cap, they put a bunch of silicone around there to seal it off. I don't know if maybe if it was leaking when the farmer got to the field last year, and for a quick fix they just put silicone around it instead of putting the proper O-ring, or it came from Cotton Picker Works that way. I don't have any idea. I'm not wanting to slander anybody, ruin anybody's name. But somebody with the previous owner or who he hired to work on the picker did it. Anyway, put a lot of that silicone around, and anyway, when they tightened the cap down, the silicone squeezed out and actually squeezed into the grease channels, blocking the grease channels from actually receiving grease. So that rear drum ran dry and locked up. Anyway, I'll show you here on the front because I can't hardly squeeze back there to the back, but they had to completely disassemble the rear drum. They had to take all the bars out, all the spindles out, and had needed all new spindle nuts, the whole bars themselves with the necks and everything going up in there. All of that had to be completely rebuilt because everything was just completely galded from lack of lubrication. Pretty intensive work. I think the bill on the rear drum and everything was something like $6,500, $7,000 roughly. And then I had them take all the doffers out and grind the doffers down. And they had to replace some doffers too. So I think that added about another $2,200 or so. Anyway, the bill was over $9,000, something like $9,300 to fix that one unit and then grind all the doffers down. But hopefully, knock on wood, the rest of the units all in good enough shape. Gonna need to rebuild the rear drums on the other 5 units at some point in the future. Hoping I can get 2 years out of them before I gotta send the units back down to Delta Spindle and probably get the rear drums rebuilt. And then got another problem on this picker, steadily getting worse. Won't have to place an order here pretty soon. We got a pretty ugly pimple there on the tire. Whew. That don't look too good. Hopefully it'll last long enough for me to take it across the road and park it under the shed though. And if it blows out, it blows out. But yep, I gotta get 2 new tires ordered. Probably need to place an order pretty soon because with the supply chain the way it is, might take a while to get them in. So anyway, that's the full update on the picker right now. All right, got me all patched back up, even though that hole was right here in the tread. When you come through, is actually right there where the sidewall meets the tread. So put a boot on the tire, but also put a tube in there too. So much as we got to do tomorrow, and rain coming in tomorrow night, I'm gonna head back out, try to get a few more loads of dirt hauled, get that culvert finished up over there before I call it a day. All right, here you can see the finished project. Looks pretty dang good if I do say so myself, a lot better than what it did. We took the extra guardrail that we dug up and put it there as a barrier to hold dirt, and that culvert's still in pretty sorry shape, but hopefully this will at least get us through this year and even longer. I actually wound up building up this whole area probably about 2.5 to 3 feet higher than what it was, so that if water gets out of that creek, it's not going to flow across the top of the culvert like it did. It's going to find another outlet. So basically we kind of got a dam right out through here. There's there was an existing pipe right over here that if water backs up in this bottom from this creek, it can come out that pipe, take a while. Then we also kind of dug a spillway right here to where when it comes out this creek, if it's got to go over, it's going to go over here first and then go down through the field rather than rushing over the top of our culvert here and eating it away again. Whether that actually works or not, I don't know. Kind of makes sense in my mind, so we'll see. Hopefully we won't have a big enough flood and rain this spring to test out all this new dirt work, but I'm pretty proud of this. It took us a lot longer and a lot more loads of dirt than what I thought, but this is fixed about as good as it can get right now with the equipment that we got. But like I said, it's not going to be a long-term solution. We're going to have to come in here and do some more fixing here probably next few years. So Andy's already started down there. I got a couple loads of dirt hauled in on that culvert down there. Andy's already started working on that, and We're gonna finish that up.
This is how my morning's going. So Matt wants me to go spray 50 acres of burn down where we didn't have cover crops. And I went to go start the sprayer and she was like, no, no. So we're gonna go jump off the sprayer. I also have a really good friend in from Wisconsin. That's how you spell it. She farms 5,000 acres. She farms 5,000 acres. Her dad works for her and she's got 2 employees. And she's from like upper Wisconsin, 45th parallel. So she wants to go spray, so we're gonna go spray. Well, she's gonna ride, I'm gonna spray, so. Like, she's just sitting there. She's like, I like this, it's nice. There's no snow on the ground, so she's excited. So, hooked up there at the... At least I got help today. Usually I'm on my own. Is it hooked? All right, can I hook it up now?
Yeah, try it once.
Okay, so see what happens? It's not funny. Woo! We did it. So had some sensor problems. Matt came over and figured it out. Freaking hate this farm, it's bumpy. My passenger decided to go take video. And yeah, we're gonna get this 50-acre field done, and then I'm gonna go, I guess, go help the boys.
I swear in the spring, it's about impossible to run a dirt pan without getting stuck. At least once. Because it seems like a lot of the spots you're fixing are going to be the muddy spots. Every time this creek's gotten out, it's kind of scoured this going around, and it's just basically become a pond that was holding water, and had Andy scoop. Well, I thought I had him scoop about all the mud out of there, but went to go dump a load of dirt and found a hole, and she just sank. And that dolly pan back there, it ain't nothing but a huge boat anchor holding that thing back. I had Andy go back and get the big tractor. I don't even know if he'll do it though. So you get a little bit of mud, and that frame starts dragging right there. But in other news, this redesign that Bo did on this linkage on the ejector, man, she's holding up beautifully, doing a perfect job. I'm kind of scared of us trying to fix this spot. I'm thinking we just made it a lot worse. Anyway, here's this culvert right here. You can tell water got up and ate away at the top, but it didn't flow over the top, or at least not too bad. It's a little worse on the other side over here. And it kind of ate away, so we're gonna try and get this field back in. I was hoping to kind of get that spot fixed first, so we wasn't just turning around and driving in a pond the whole time. But like I said, I think we might have just made it worse. If you're kind of curious how we used to cross this creek back in the good old days, back when I was a kid, let me show you. We used to cross right here. You can see the remnants of a wooden bridge. Yep, we used to cross this creek on a wooden bridge. Of course, back when we last used this, probably mid-80s. I think that's when my dad put the culvert in. It was sometime probably mid-late 80s. We had a wooden bridge right here. Of course, our equipment back then was a lot smaller. You know, we had 80 horsepower tractors, 4-row equipment. About the heaviest thing to come across here would be a 2-row cotton picker. And here it is, what, you know, 35 years later or so, the decking's gone, but the pilings that supported it still standing, and it withstood a lot of floods through here. I tell you one thing, I certainly don't miss having to cross a wooden bridge anymore. I remember one day we was picking cotton, and it was night, and my dad was hauling the cotton trailer out from this bottom across this bridge, and it's a 40-foot trailer, I think. And anyway, he cut it just a little bit short, and the back wheels come off the side as he was making the turn. I mean, I don't remember much of that night. I do remember it was a pretty big ordeal though. All right, go ahead and get it tight. Come on, pull, baby, pull. Ah, I think we got it.
Oh yeah. Come on out of there.
Whew, thank goodness. I was scared it wouldn't do it. Well, it looked pretty dang good if I do say so myself. I think we even got this mud hole down here in fairly decent shape. Got it filled in. Hopefully I got it sloped right to where it drains off down there. Got our berm rebuilt where water was pouring back over in the creek. The only thing we wasn't quite able to get into shape is this hole where I sunk down to China right here. We got it smoothed out pretty good. Got a little bit of dirt in there, but every time I put my tire over in there, it just it'd sink. There ain't no bottom right here. But at least we ain't got a big hole, so whenever this does dry up, or next year, whenever I get a chance, I can come over here and hopefully do a little bit more shaping on it and get it right. Usually it's very rare when you do dirt projects in the spring that you're able to get it 100% the way it needs to be. Normally you got to do the best you can. Hopefully you made the situation better, and then the next year maybe it's not, you know, your problem isn't as bad, it's not as wet, and then you can finish up the project and get it just right. Most of this stuff is kind of 2-year projects, so I reckon I'll just go ahead and end this video right now because I got something else I got to do. You'll get to see the next video. I think y'all gonna like it. The only hint I'm gonna give you is that it involves the 4440 and giving it a good workout to see if we got it fixed right. So anyway, appreciate y'all watching. Y'all definitely be sure to check back in the next video. I think a lot of y'all gonna like it.